So I have to remix my professor's scene in a way that he can't recognize it. So something totally different. And so I was looking at his videos. Fifth one is about parent-child relationships, and you can see here the logohedron, the octahedron here, is rotating, has an animation applied to it. It also has up and down, a position animation applied. And he's just made the red sphere a child of that octahedron. And as such, that red sphere inherits, like children inherit the color of their eyes from their parents or something like that. That red sphere has inherited the animation from the parent, both animations. We're looking at that made me think about planets and stars and suns and moons. So I thought I would try to make a solar system, just a simple one. So this is his original Think in 3D 391 intro, and I can remix here. And it will give me a new URL. Twisty opposite jute. Twisty opposite jute. I don't really like that, and I tell you what, I do. I love it. I think they're hilarious and interesting, but I'll never remember it. So I'm going to, first things first, I'm going to hit the settings. So that's under the fly out here. Settings, edit project details, and I'm just call this 391. That's the course. Planetary. Spaces don't work between these words. I think they will add hyphens for me, but and I'll say test. Capitals also will not work, but it'll just lowercase them for you. So now I have 391 planetary test, so I can begin to work on it. Again, if I'm seeing my code disappear behind my preview pane, or if I'm not seeing my preview pane, that's here. And if my code disappears behind it, then I can, again, under settings, I can just scroll down and make sure that toggle text wrap is checked. And then I'm kind of done with this part. So I'm going to get rid of everything I don't want. I don't need a ground plane. This is going to be out in space. I don't need some kind of artificial sense of a horizon there. I don't need a cylinder, although later on maybe I'll go, oh, I want a space station or something. I do want a sphere. I don't need a box. And the only reason I'm keeping the logohedron is because it already has an animation applied, and I want to copy that animation. But it has two animations, a rotation and a position animation. So I'll get rid of a position animation. I don't think stars bob up and down like that. So there's my, this is going to be my parent, the parent. This is going to be the star of my, the sun of my solar system. So I'll just call it the sun. That's in the comments there. And instead of, I'll give it an ID of the sun. But instead of an octahedron, I want it to be a sphere, right? So I can actually just say, instead of octahedron, S-P-H-E-R-E. I'm leaving the texture on it because, as we saw in the video I'm using as inspiration, spheres rotating, they don't show rotation without a texture on them. If this thing is rotating, it'd be hard to tell, right? I mean, I could do something like, I could make it a different shape, and we could see that then if I made it instead of a sphere. So this will be the Earth. So instead of a sphere, if I made it a torus, not a storus. There we can see. So if it's not a sphere, it's easy to see. Undo is Command Z or Control Z. So I'm just going to do it this way so I can see the rotation occurring. I'm going to make this much bigger. In fact, I'll make it 125, 1.25. There it goes. And I'm going to make this Earth a child of the sun. And the way I did that, we saw it in the video, is I put this whole Earth, all this Earth code, I just Command Z, Command X, get rid of it. I put it between the open and close tags of the sun. So this is the open tag of the sun, and it has its components in that tag. And then here's the close tag. So I just paste this in there. I got interrupted. So here's the, this is the basic idea. The sun goes around, and so because the sun goes around, the Earth goes around. The Earth is, we can lower the sun, so and the Earth will move with it. So let's get its position. This can be, that's too low, obviously. So I'll make it 1.6. 1.6 is where the camera height is set. So this is right in front of my eye, virtually. And it's 3 meters away from me. Let's move it a little bit further back. Oh, somehow that space didn't like that space. There we go. And then the Earth is a little bit higher than the sun here because it has its own Y position. Now, once the Earth becomes a child of the sun, this position becomes the new 0, 0, 0. So the sun is up here at 1.6 meters on the Y, and then the Earth is beyond that, another 1.25. So if I make this 0, it's in the same plane as the sun. We'll make the sun bigger. I'll get rid of this texture in a moment. But it helps me see the rotation going on. So we'll make the sun bigger. And we'll put the Earth further from it. And make it smaller. Way too small, right? There we go. It kind of blinks through my vision here, so we'll push the sun just a little bit further back. There we go. So now we can see the whole thing. By the way, this is not the whole thing. The preview here is preview in new window. This is what the final result looks like. I think the sun is going too fast, right? So let's imagine the Earth goes around the sun every, put it out here at like 9. Well, in fact, it's starting behind the sun. I want to see it on the side, so we'll put it on the side, -9. There we go. And the sun, I think, is going too fast, right? So if I look at the sun's animation, rotation, property, rotation 2, so it's -359. So there's no position up here, no rotation information up here. So it starts at 0, 0, 0 rotation. It goes to -359. I think we can go up to 360. I think that's a hangover from a time when I would see one frame twice, but I don't think I see that anymore with a frame. So this is 3,000ths of a second. 3,000 thousandths of a second is the DUR, the duration. So that's 3 seconds, right? These are thousandths of a second. There's 3,000 of them. That's 3 seconds. And I think, let's say the Earth goes around the sun every 12 months. So let's make that 1 month per second. And all this other stuff is great. Loop, true, easing, linear. I don't have to learn anything more about easing or figure out how to make it loop. This is all built in. I want a moon for the Earth to go around the Earth. So that means I'm going to have to, first I'll make something that's a child of the Earth. So I can take this whole code for the Earth and paste it in again between the open tag and the close tag, making it a child of the Earth, and I'll call this Moon. These IDs, and see this red dot? It tells me there's some kind of maybe possible issue. It's not breaking anything, but it's still not a good idea to have two IDs that are the same. So I'm going to give these IDs like Earth and Moon. The IDs aren't important now. They might be later. So, and then I'll make this Moon a good deal smaller even than the Earth. And I'll give it a different color. Here's some colors. I'll just make it here, light steel blue. Actually, what I'll do is, because I want to maybe tweak it a bit, I'll copy the code. If I wanted to use the name light steel blue, I could do that, but I can't just copy it and paste it. It needs to have these capital letters taken out. Don't know why they present it with those capital letters. It makes it easier to read, but you can't actually use them. But I could use the word light steel blue, but I'm going to use the hexadecimal instead. So here's the Moon. So now the Moon is gray. The Earth is red. That's like Mars. So let's make the Earth some kind of, not sky blue, medium slate blue. So let's start with this, and we can tweak it. I'll show you what I mean. So here's the Earth. We'll make it bluish. Okay, and then maybe I want a little bit, it's a little maybe purple. Maybe there's too much red in it. So I'll just say 7-0 instead of 7B. That's a little bit bluer. I'm bringing this down to 6. So that's bluer, right? Less red. So that's one reason too. I like this. This is from 3W Schools, but I like having a chart of colors I can see. But I'm like hot pink. That's a nice pink, but it's too hot, right? So I can copy the hexadecimal and then tweak it a bit, lowering or raising the red or the blue. A thing to consider is if all of these numbers get lower, let's say if I just subtract the same amount from each one, I'll end up with a pink that's darker. Right? As they get closer to 0, it gets darker. So I can have darker versions of these colors by just getting them a little bit closer to 0. Okay, so right now I've got the sun going around and the Earth going around the sun and the Moon not going around the Earth, and that is because the sun here has a animation applied, and the Earth is inheriting that. I got distracted again. Somebody came to my office. So, where was I? What happened to my Moon? Okay. So here's my Earth is going around the sun, but the Earth is not going around. I can add animation to the Moon by making the Earth go around. So I'm just going to copy the animation from the sun, paste it on the Earth. Now, you're seeing maybe that I always do like a geometry, position, material, animation, and then shadow, or maybe I don't, yeah. And maybe I have shadow here. The point is actually these orders are not important. You can do it any order you like. I keep them in some kind of order because I just want to be able to know if I have applied animation or something. So, and if all of this indenting is getting a little crazy, I get it prettier, and it's very nicely done for me. You can see that the Earth is indented a little bit away, because it's a child of the sun, and the Moon is indented a little bit because it's a child of the Earth. It's very nice, handy, helps you navigate. So, so if this is 12 months, then the Moon goes around once per month, right? So, what would that be? Would it be like this? Something like that, I believe. So the Moon is too far from the Earth. It's still going around the sun. So it's really big orbit for the moon. Oh, I'm changing the Earth. Okay, I'm changing the Earth position. Let's do this again. Here's the moon. 3. There we go. So now the Earth is going around the sun. Let's move the Earth away just a little bit from the sun. And the moon will move with it because it'll inherit the position. And let's look at the main. Again, I'm just leaving this texture on for a moment and I'm going to move the sun a little further away so we see the whole orbit of the Earth. Oops, that's way too far away. Okay, so I think that'll work. We can see the whole orbit of the Earth. We're not inside its orbit anywhere. The Earth it rotates around on its axis. It has an axis that's different from the sun's axis. The whole solar system has a y-axis that everything goes around, but the Earth has its own, and because of that, the moon kind of goes around at a different angle. But let's not mess with that right now. Let's get rid of on the sun. Let's get rid of this texture. Let's figure out what color we want. I was looking at gold. It seemed a little bit much, but we can try it. So this is the sun. I'm just going to get rid of all this texture business. Oh, and this has to say color. Color. There we go. Not bad. I think this is probably good enough. I'm going to just prettify the code so it looks nice. Oh, you know what? I mentioned that the Earth rotates on its axis. I could probably, let's see what happens if I give the sun a rotation of its own. So just after the position, I'll put in the rotation. Equals quote 0, 0, 0. I usually just put in all the zeros first and then go back. So there, the sun, that seems like a little bit much. We go maybe 30 degrees. Yeah, there the Earth apparently is the moon goes around a little more dynamically. Yeah. So let's save this. I'll prettify it one more time. And then how I share it with my professor. So this is called 391 planetary test, right? So I'm going to go to my so up here I find this, and here's I can click this and I get a different page. So if I click the icon and then the icon, I get to this page, and here I have playlists, and here's my playlist, and I'll click here, and can I add things here from this? No. So I'm going to go, instead of clicking my icon and then my icon, I'm going to go to just go to glitch. Try this again. Okay. Okay, well, here's my playlists, but here's my projects. And here's 391 planetary test. And here I can, here, save to playlist. So I'll save it to CSC 391. So the idea is that I'll give my professor this link. This is the URL for my glitch playlist for this class, 391. And that way I can work on other projects that I'm not sharing. Maybe there's some things I don't want my professor to see. I know that he likes to see work in progress and different versions and variations, but I don't want to just show everything every mistake I make or every just thing I'm fooling around with. I want to be careful about what I show because it's supposed to show me in the best light. So And now I have two things in this playlist. He can see the Think in 3D 391 intro or the 391 planetary test. And what happens here? Oh, that's VR mode. Visit. There we go. So he can just come in here and look at this or look at the code. And does this look like what he started with, what he gave me to start with? It doesn't, right? It's not the same at all. The only similarity is they both had spheres in them, but this has a whole solar system going on. And now, actually, I'll just move around a bit. To see what it can look like. Notice the kind of oblong appearance as a certain kind of perspective. This is endemic to 3D work. It's partly because this could be a VR environment and have a split screen and other things like that. So it's just something we have. It's just a quirk of 3D stuff. These aren't spherical. In fact, you can see that they aren't. I mean, they're not oblong, they are spherical. So don't be fooled by that. It's because of that it's pre-distorted for VR